170 is live this Friday at 1:30 p.m. South African time on YouTube as well as Prime Video. It is at Impact Arena, Bangkok, Thailand. Massive pay-per-view card for one championship this weekend. We are going to break down the entire fight card up next in Fighting with Friends. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends. It's your boy, brother Gaia, back again to do another preview of One Championships 170 taking place at Bangkok Impact Arena. With me breaking this card down is the boys, brother Jedi and brother Babu. How's it going, guys?
Lekker man, lekker.
Excited for this card?
Big guy.
Yo, amped brother. Amped
It's a
brother
stacked
guy.
card, eh? From top
Het
to
is a
bottom.
banger.
Couple of rematches taking place on this fight card, starting with the main event. It is a rematch between Tawanchai, the featherweight Muay Thai champion, against his former foe in Superbon, the legend. Boys, let's go straight into it. I'm gonna go to Babu first. Well, actually, let's go to Jed because Jed thought this fight was actually had happened already. So let's go to Jedi. It seems like you'll jump in the gun because you're that excited about it. Give us your view on this fight, Jedi. It's the I fought before. Tawanchai came up on victorious in that first fight. He won, just narrowly won that fight, but he did win it out and out. Superbon, some facts for you here. He is undefeated in all his rematches. So this is a rematch. It is in kickboxing. It's in Muay Thai this time, not in kickboxing. So little gloves. People can get knocked out very quickly here. How do you see this fight playing out, Jedi?
Yeah, look, I mean, I did think it happened already because the year is just happening so fast. I already thought we in March. But yeah, it's going to be probably one of the best fights we will come to see so far in the beginning of the year. And another rematch, as you said. I think the first fight, Superbon being the guy that he is, you know what I mean? He was pretty much unstoppable at like one point. But it was like he was a couple of steps behind in the first fight for me personally. Yes. I think he was just getting pieced up and kept that distance. He was just a bit slow, I think, and he was kind of following Tawanchai around the ring, and Tawanchai was just having his way. So I don't know what he's gonna do for the rematch. So after the loss, he went to the other thing, right? The kickboxing.
Kickboxing, yes. That's when he fought Marat Gregorian and Shin gigs them. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a win there. So he's been winning.
Yes.
Nico. I mean, we'll see what happens, bro. I think he's going to have to make it a bit dirty and try and close the distance on him, because if he stands at distance and do a traditional I go, you go type of fight, then I think he's just going to get pieced up, because it's more like Tawanchai goes 3 times and he goes once. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The one time that he does get to go, the dude's most time not even there. His defense is so good. So I think he's gonna have to not wait as much as he did in the first fight. I think he's gonna have to kind of match the output and aggression of Tawanchai. But with that being said, we all know what that deep kick is like. So, yeah.
Tawanchai's deep kick is still yet to be avoided for most of the guys that have fought him. There seems to be no answer for it at the moment. That's a very good analogy of how this fight actually play. It is his best weapon by far.
It's his best weapon, and it's so fast, and you don't know how to counter it or how to get around it, because his timing and his distance with it is so insane, and he throws it so much, but kind of different every time he throws it.
Yeah.
And it's very effective, as we all know.
Super effective. So you tipping it towards
one kick.
Before I give it to Babu, who are you tipping it towards?
Oh, me? Yeah.
Yes, you,
Jedi. If they don't finish him in the later round, it's going to go to decision.
Tawanchai, by decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Babu, a little bit of more information on these two fighters. Tawanchai is 9 years younger He's a little bit more vibrant, which is probably why he's a bit quicker. Both these guys did an interview earlier in the week, and both of them said they don't really see knocking each other out because they both claim that this level of Muay Thai, it's a bit difficult to actually knock each other out. Particularly these two fighters.
It's I go,
So-
you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like we take in turns basically.
they very rarely get reckless, or very often they do see one guy at this level dominate so intensely that other one has no answer for it. Babu, how do you think this fight plays out? Who do you think gets the job done?
Just looking into it, doing my little bit of research, looking at the fight, it looked like Superbon, was dabbling in the kickboxing leading up to the Tawanchai fight, and I think like when you do a bit of, if you're doing a different discipline, and you're not going back and forth, because it seemed like he did kickboxing, like 3 kickboxing fights before stepping into the Muay Thai fight against Tawanchai. It does throw you off, and the adjustment has been made since the fight. I see him.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time I saw him out was against Smoking Joe, who's also on the squad, and
Yes.
from that performance, you could see like everything was polished up, everything was in tip-top performance. And even though both fighters will say, we can't see a finish in the fight, but I'm sure walking into that Smoking Joe fight, Superbon wouldn't have said, "Hey, I'm gonna catch this man with the inside elbow," because
Yeah.
like that's not something that you can like set up as easy against like a high level fighter like Smoking Joe. So if the opportunity does present itself, I'm sure both fighters will jump at it. I mean, the last fight going to decision, you can see both fighters are cut from the same cloth, a karate cloth. Both fighters don't think that they're going to like give any opportunity of getting finished. Tawanchai, being a champion, wants to keep the belt, wants to remain at the top of the division, wants to be known as one of the greatest, if not the greatest. So I think the fight will be a violent fight. It will be a pushing the pace fight, and I think both fighters will put on a classic of just Muay Thai. We're gonna see what 2 of the best go up against each other. Both fighters come with credentials that young fighters can only dream of, and so I'm expecting a banger. Banger.
I'm inclined to agree. I mean, it's the cream of the crop, other than Super Lake and Rotang, to be quite honest. This is really like one championship's best guys fighting here. So amazing main event to put on for the boys this weekend, particularly because it's the only fight card that's happening this weekend as well. So I'm quite excited for it. But we'll keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. Also, before that, let us know in the comments who do you guys have winning this fight. Would love to hear your thoughts because I personally can't actually choose. But okay, we'll keep it moving, guys. Co-main event is also a banger. Starting to scroll down here. Co-main event, we have Fabricio Andrade taking on Kwon for the second time in the bantamweight bantamweight MMA, excuse me, in the One Championship. This is going to be a fantastic fight as well. Kwon is a very, very good boxer coming out of South Korea. With Fabricio Andrade, he's probably the best MMA guy in the One Championship right now, apart from Akbar Abdullayev. I do think Fabricio Andrade is the dog in this One Championship organization. So, Jedan, I'm going to go to you again first for this one. Fabricio Andrade representing Brazil, beat John Nedica twice in MMA. That does tell you a little bit about how good this guy really is. Obviously, his last fight out, he lost against Jonathan Nagady, but that was in a different discipline. It wasn't MMA. So the last fight wasn't MMA, yes. Kwon won ill. Since losing against Fabricio Andrade, went on a three fight winning streak, excuse me. All the fights ended in TKOs. So both these guys are good finishers. How do you see this fight playing out, Jedan? Who becomes
I think Fabricio is just gonna go out and do what he does, bro. He's gonna ragdoll this Kwon the second.
Quite one the second.
Kwon the second.
Oh, I'm gonna spat my tea out here, bro.
I think so this is another rematch. First one ended out with Fabricio finishing him in like a minute.
In the first round, second round, body kicked him.
Second round.
Body
Anyway.
kicked him,
was quite quick. I think it's going to be more of the same. You know what I mean? It's going to be up to Kwon 1 second to prove that the first fight was a fluke. You know what I mean? And that this time he can do better. For the champ, I think he's just going to go out and he obviously can't be complacent because he beat his brother already, and quite easily.
Yeah.
And Brazilians are known for kind of when being a bit nonchalant about these type of fights. So I hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, obviously I'm going with Brazil for the win.
Yeah.
So
probably not to go with it,
and then ground and pound him to a finish, kind of.
It's hard to see. Hard to see it go the other way, to be quite honest. Especially because Fabricio's also got a black belt, second-degree black belt in jiu-jitsu, so he doesn't even get to show that in one championship. But if he does, I'm pretty sure he will tap all these people out pretty easily. Babu, do you share the same sentiment with Jedi on this one, or do you see a different play in this fight?
I think the fight will be a bit more competitive. I think Kwon won the second. I think he will put on a better display. I think he rode a 4-fight win streak coming into that fight with Fabricio. So you start sipping the Kool-Aid, you start thinking like, hey, I'm untouchable, it's my time, it's my prime. You run up against somebody that just has a bit more to his arsenal, like Fabricio. He's one of the fighters that carries a big name in MMA. Especially like if you follow like MMA itself, like you will know his name, and it's just the legend that he has grown. He's one of that guys that like you run up against him. He has so many different tools. He can stand, he can grapple, he has a amazing movement. And I think the loss to Jonathan Haggerty is a bad sign for Kwon Won the second, because a champion losing in a different discipline just fuels him to come into this fight to show like, oh, you guys might have thought like I'm weak, but let me just put on another display for you. And I think he just goes out and he pushes Kwon Won the second to his absolute limit. I don't think it will run into the second. I think it's a late first round TKO. Yeah. I don't think Kwon makes it out, bro. Because that body kick, his kicks are lethal, bro.
And but he got stopped with the body kick.
If you smell,
Fabricio stopped him with the body kick.
Yeah. So I think that's just gonna be the opener. He's gonna body kick him again. He's gonna look to basically have the same game plan. Kwon Won, I don't think anything can prepare you to get body kicked or leg kicked. Like there's nothing in this world that will ever equate to that. So once you go out there, you start feeling the power. You start backing up, and as soon as you start backing up, he's just gonna take full advantage, and he's gonna find a way to either strangle you or just have you looking up at the lights and counting the stars.
No, I think it's safe to say that the boys at the Fighting with Friends is definitely going with Fabricio Andrade. Kwon Won, pronounced the name right this time. It's not the second, unfortunately. His style is pretty much just strictly boxing, so I'm starting to see what he's going to do differently, or what he adds to his game to actually beat Fabricio, because I'm not sure if he can actually do that in terms of just using the hands. He's going to have to make it a dirty fight. Anyway, let's keep it moving, boys, to the next fight, which is probably going to be the fight of the night, in my opinion. This fight has been made last minute because the fight was supposed to be Nico Carrillo versus Superleg. Superleg got injured, unfortunately, so he couldn't make it to this fight, which then resulted in this fight now taking place. Nico Carrillo taking on Nabil Anane. Both these guys are ranked in the top 5 of this division, so they're fighting for the interim bantamweight Muay Thai belt, which then obviously makes up that the winner will get Superleg next. So, Jedi, I'm not sure if you know so much about Nabil Anane or Nico Carrillo, but both these guys come with a lot of hype around them. Nico Carrillo is ranked number 2 in this bantamweight division, and Nabil is ranked number 5. Both guys are still early 20s. Nico is undefeated at the moment in the one championship. All these fights ended in knockouts, 100% finish rate. Nabil Anane also pretty much near flawless record, only taken one loss, and that's to Superleg. Other than that, he's beaten massive fighters like Kulap Dam, Sulin Ooze also on this card. I think he fought Nongo as well. So he's been in there with some really top dogs. Nico Carrillo as well. He beat also the big legends. Nongo is one of them as well. How do
Oh
you think this fight
yeah,
plays
I
out?
actually watched this dude.
He's just big. He's like this big
Yeah.
Bodo bantamweight, bigger than everybody. He's
He's
just
not
this giant.
Oh, he's just tall.
He's also fought out. I
No.
think he's. I think I'll say him out
Anane is
against
the long one.
Anande is
Yeah.
like 6'10", and then and Nico is like this broad Hulk like maniac kind of guy. So he's like a heavy hitter, man. Very much just power in his hands. Whereas Nabil's like this style bender kind of fighter. How do you think this fight plays out, Broski?
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be power versus speed on this one.
Mm.
Through, I think, not that like I can't really say this anymore because in one championship we see so many KOs. I was gonna say usually with the small guys it's not very easy to KO somebody, you know what I mean? But these also fucking knocking each other out every week. So so that goes out the window. But dude, I think it's a coin flip. I think whoever comes with the biggest heart and with the best
Yeah.
game plan and takes their chance, it's probably going to be a coin flip. Because on the one end, I can see Nico kind of closing the distance and throwing body shots, going low and then coming up with high kicks kind of style. And on the other end, I can see Nabil kind of using his length and, keeping Nico at bay because he likes to slip back and throw that jab 1-2 and kicks as he does.
Yeah.
I watched him twice now, I think.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, he's very good and he knows what he's good at. Also,
Very true.
but yeah, I think it's a coin flip, and then whoever wins got to stand by for the champ.
Got to stand by for the champ, exactly. Babu, do you share the same sentiments of Jedi? Do you see the fight playing out exactly like that, or do you see it playing out a little bit different? We've watched Nabil a few times. We watched him live as well, so we kind of we know what he's about.
Yeah, I'm there with Jedi, but like more of the second sentiment. I think just watching the 20-year-old in Nabil and Anane, I think his experience is way beyond his years because of how he moves. And that slip back 1-2 and then move, slip back 1-2. It's such a underrated points tallier in the fight, and especially when you go to decision, like it just seems like he's hit you like at least 3 times more than what you have touched him with. And the King of the North comes in here giving up a lot of reach. I think like he's 5'10" or something.
Yes.
So he's
5'9",
like way
5'9".
shorter. 5'9" is even worse. Anane stands at like 6'4". So
6'4", yeah.
like the reach is insane. So I hope that Nico Carrillo has like a game plan of how to get inside, because his power is devastating, and like you said previously, he has 100% finish rate for a reason. Like he has the moniker of the King of the North, and nobody's disputing it because he just leaves his opponents like face down, ass up. So
all the time.
It is an interesting fight, but I am there with Anane. I'm a big fan. I've bought stock. I've watched him a couple of times.
Let's go.
I hope he goes to decision because I can't see him getting the finish on Carrillo.
You don't think
I
so?
don't see Davis. I don't think he gets the finish here.
Shocking.
He just doesn't have as devastating power to hit him with. And if he wants to set up like a powerful shot, he's gonna need to have very close distance to land something. And I don't think you want to play that game, especially with a power puncher like Nico Carrillo. So I think like just stand on the outside, just slip that 1-2 in there, jab him, move him, keep moving. When you get the chance to, when you back him up, just like take your chances, just punches in bunches and get the decision, grind it out. Next up, super leg. Get your leg back. Get your leg back. You're 20 years old. You have all the all the excitement in you. So use it. Why not? You're gonna have energy. Just
Yeah.
don't like adrenaline dump it. Just pace yourself out. Just want to move. Just be
Yeah,
the
a lot
matador,
easier.
bro. Be the
It's a lot
matador.
easier said than done. You know, when you're up in
Yeah,
it's a high
Yeah,
bro.
profile fight.
yeah.
No, it's a championship fight. It's a lot easier said than done. I will add this before we move on to the next fight. Is that Nabil didn't actually want to take this fight. He was happy to give it to Cameron Mbate because the Cameron Mbate is ranked higher than him in this division. Cameron was supposed to get the fight against Super League instead of Nico Carrillo. I would love to have watched Nico Carrillo versus Nabati for the number one contender spot, to be quite honest. And Anane did say that he's only 20. He's like, I'm happy to wait, bro. I got my whole life ahead of me. These guys can go fight first if they want to. But now he's here, so he has to fight this fight. So let's see if he can shock the world. Because I think everyone's safe to say that everyone's putting it alongside of that on Nico Carrillo's side to win because of the devastating power. But I don't actually fully believe that. Anyway, we'll keep it moving. There's in the comments, please, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a massive, massive freaking fight. Okay, boys, we'll keep it moving to the fight before that. We see these guys pretty much look identical, by the way. Yes, Jedi?
Yeah, I have to go now, but this fight I think is going to be the most excited fight of the night.
Yeah, pretty much.
You guys
I
are
can
probably
see why you're
fighting
saying
for
that.
like the rent or something.
Anyway, chat Jedi, you were here for
Yes.
the championship fights. Appreciate your input, bro.
Okay, peace,
Catch you
brother.
on the recap. Enjoy the evening, eh?
Yes.
Safe. Okay, Jedi's gone there. Just in time. We usually got him for that championship fights. Right, Babu, do you agree with Jedi? This is gonna be a big one. We have Sixan, the man who heals to nobody, taking on Sulin, the man of steel. Both these mans of the mans of mans. Both guys do not want to bow to either one of the other. So it's shaping up to be a fight where we're pretty much gonna see a bloody affair. Babu, how do you see this fight playing out, my friend?
Violently, brother. Violent. I see violence here. A man that yields to nobody against the man of steel. I don't see how we can not expect to see blood in here. I think both fighters are experienced. Both fighters, like when doing my little bit of research, both fighters look like they just, I don't know, like they eat a lot of damage, and
Yes.
that's saying it like in the most tame way possible. Because if you look at Sulin, the man of steel, like
Yeah.
just watching the highlights, like there's some heavy bombs that have landed clean on this man's chin,
Yeah.
and he's not even staggered. He's not even staggered. He just keeps moving forward. I think that the route to either fighter to win this fight would be to do what Nabil and Anane did to Sulin, and that's just like try to get your shots in and frustrate him as much as possible and try to be off the rhythm as possible. Because watching that fight back, I saw Nabil land 1-2 and then slide in a 1 straight afterwards, just to throw off the rhythm, just to keep Sulin coming forward, and then every time he tried to land something, he would land his first, and then Anane would slip out of the way for the second and the third, which followed up. But I'm talking about Sixan, the man who yields to no one. So I don't think he's gonna slip out of the way. I think he's gonna be there for the 2-3. But it's just the way he returns is going to be devastating. And one thing I've learned in like one championship is like when fighters throw leg kicks, like I don't understand how you don't step back. And this is the type of fighter where you land brutal leg kicks and like they still keep moving forward. I rewatched the fight with Karim, what's his name? I think it's Benoit. I think that was it. Versus the man who doesn't yield. Sixan. I think he fought Karim Benoit. I think that's the fight that I rewatched on YouTube. And in that fight, I saw a man that was determined to just destroy the person that was in front of him. And if you have that type of mindset, that's always dangerous going into a fight. I think on if I'm just rating on what I've seen from highlights, I think Sixan gets like a late finish, but geez, this is going to be
A bit difficult.
banger of a fight.
Yeah, I don't see either of the guys finishing each other. I think this fight's just gonna go to war. We're gonna see like a rock'em sock'em for 3 rounds, to be honest. The only thing that I'm a bit concerned for Sulin in this fight is that he's coming back from a very, very, very terrible car accident. He was in hospital for a while, and now this is his first fight back. And then Sixan is bigger and taller, and this is at catchweight. So I think Sixan might just outweight him, outpower him in this fight. Because they have a very similar style. They're very equal in terms of how they approach fights. I just think that Sixan, it all comes down to the battle of nutrition here. Who's going to survive is what it's going to come down to in this one. But okay, Babu, we keep it moving. That's probably going to be the fight of the night, even though I think the one above it's going to be fight of the night. I think that one's going to stands a very big chance. Okay, we'll keep it moving. The next fight is another high-profile title eliminator bout between Smoking Joe Narawood taking on Bampara Kouyate, fighting out of France. Oh, this is going to be a banger. I think Smoking Joe, he took a loss to Superbon in his last fight. And then before that, obviously, took a loss to the current champion in Tawanchai. Whereas Bampara is on a tear at the moment. Or not on a tear, excuse me. He's got 1 win, 1 loss. But his one win he does have is against the current number 5 guy in Luc Lissay. And that speaks volumes. If you're beating Luc Lissay, then you have to be on a level to do that. And Bampara is really, really good. Super creative, young, vibrant, fast kind of fighter. He's going up against the experienced Smoking Joe, who's been at the top pretty much his whole life. I just see this fight playing out, Babu. We have experience versus the youth in this matchup.
Bro, I'm here with Smoking Joe. I believe in Smoking Joe. Even though he took a loss in his last fight against Superbon. Just understand that finish of Superbon was against the grain, against the turn. Like Smoking Joe was in, we was landing, and he just got caught. It's unfortunate that he got caught like that. But Smoking Joe, I'm a fan. Bampara, I haven't really seen too much of him. I watched a bit of his highlights. He does look like a young guy. He hits you off angles. He has like so much creativity in the way he moves and how he lands while he's moving. He has like this weird like leg kick that like he steps like off and then throws it.
Yeah.
Hey, you think he's circling, but he's not circling. He just throws an offbeat kick. So I think that's like something that's like that was super creative from somebody that I haven't seen before. But I just think Smoking Joe, the experience under the lights on a card like this, I think Smoking Joe gets the job done. He has taken a couple of losses, so getting a dub under his belt, just people forget, man. People forget.
Exactly. People forget this man, my bro. Now, Babu, I think you're 100% right in what you described, and I do think it's going to be a tough fight for Smoking Joe. To be honest, I think he's going to win, but he's going up against someone that's hungry and determined and wants to get to that title. And number 2 versus number 4, this is going to be a barn burner, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a massive fight. So please give us your thoughts on this one. Babu seems to go with the legendary Smoking Joe. If you feel any different, please tell us why in the comments. We'd love to hear. Okay, Babu, we're going to move a little swiftly. This next fight, not going to spend too much time on it. Nazuet Trujillo, I think this is his debut, going up against Sunsa Miklinmi. We all know Sunsa Miklinmi. He's been in the One Championship for a while, legendary guy. He has been talking about potentially leaving the One Championship if he doesn't win this fight. Looking to riding into the sunset, he might be calling and hanging up the gloves. I'm not going to ask you to give too much on this one. I'm actually just going to move it to the next one. I'll break that fight down in my last final predictions coming out tomorrow. But I want to get your thoughts on this fight though, because this is the one that's actually pulling a lot of fans to the One Championship right now. We do have 2 of the youngest prospects in the One Championship and probably the fastest rising stars right now. And that is Jonathan Ghazali, 18-year-old rising star right now, taking on Johan Estupinan. They got Battle of the Johans. Estupinan, 22 years old. So both these guys, as I said, are very young. Just one of the most electrifying kind of fighters you will watch right now. We know how we've been going on about Ramadan or Dash, but I do think that these 2 guys is probably the best under 25 guys in the one championship right now. Obviously, and Freddie Haggerty we'll get into a bit later. But how do you see this fight plays out? Because we have Johan Ghazali's the more powerful striker, but more slower, but more precise in the way he moves. Whereas Johan is the panda kick. He's got this, this karate Hollywood kind of fighting style. This is flyweight Muay Thai, so it's a very, very good division to be in. How do you see this fight playing out, Bible?
So I did look at the two fighters. Went into the archives. Jojo Ghazali looks like an absolute star at the moment. I just watched like a couple of his fights. Glanced over it, and just overlooking the fights, I was like, he doesn't look his age. He's 18 years old, ladies and gentlemen. He's composed. He doesn't rush his finishes. He sets it up perfectly every time. Like what I've seen of his knockouts, it's methodical. He leads you into how he wants to finish you, and I think he's just like I agree with you, BG. Like this he's a prospect, and it's somebody to really buy stock into. I do think he's giving up a bit of length here. With a panda kick. When looking at Estupian, I see he likes being in there. He likes getting in and out of the void as quick as possible, and his movement is very. I don't want to. It's very dynamic in the sense of how he moves back and forth. He doesn't really do too much side to side, but getting in and out of the void is perfect. I think he's also riding all the confidence in the world at the moment. He's still undefeated. He still has his own. He thinks like it's done. And I think coming up against a prospect, the 18-year-old, I think Estupian carries a bit of experience on him.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see like in this young fight, can Estupian rely on his experience of being in there, or will he be overconfident to just think he's gonna walk through Jojo? I personally think Jojo will get the W, and I think it's a late winner. It's like we're gonna see a war first. But that's how I see this one going.
Yes, no, I feel like you hit the money on the money with that one. To be quite honest, I just the one thing that I'll be concerned for Jojo in this fight is when the panda kick starts doing all the wild stuff and he creates this vortex of a fight. Yeah, he creates you get sucked into this vortex of the fight where if you don't initiate or if you don't engage in this battle with him, you're gonna lose. So it's like he forces you to do this thing with him, which also is a very risky fight because it's almost like the way he fights is like let's meet in the middle, pull up our guns, and whoever shoots first wins. This is the kind of thing. That's how he fights. He just wants to be in the line of fire. That's what he's like. And I just wonder if Jojo is able to be composed enough to navigate that because Johan doesn't let anyone settle. That's just Estupinan doesn't let anyone settle. But that's going to be a very, very fantastic fight, honestly. But let's keep it moving, Babu. So we have Maurice Abebi taking on Samat Mamadov. This is obviously going to be a fantastic fight as well. Maurice coming off a win. I'm going to break this fight down in a bit more detail tomorrow, Babu, so we'll breeze over this one, as well as the one underneath that between the two grappling legends. Marcelo Garcia taking on Masakazu Imanari. This is
excited to see this.
Yeah, it's just going to be a hell of a fight to watch for the fan enthusiasts. Is going to enjoy this one, but I'll give my breakdown on that one as well. I want to move to this fight because this is the fight that includes one of the fighters that's we're a big fan of one of these guys here at Fighting with Friends. It is Thant Zin, it's 80's number one guy, taking on Suryan Lek in a catchweight bout. But unfortunately, it's not in a division fight. But this is still going to be an absolute war for me. Suryan Lek's 28 years old, very much a power puncher, 83% finishing rate. Whereas Thant Zin, 20 years old, another young cat, only has 3 fights in the one championship, one of it coming to a loss against the legendary Takero, but also has a very, very good finishing rate at 100%. So a lot of his fights is usually ending in knockout, or he's the one that's getting finished. So in this fight, how do you think it plays out, my friend?
I'm here with 80's guy, bro. I'm here with 80's guy from
Thant Zin.
Wow. yeah, we saw him. We saw him up front. I watched the Takeru fight. He blew me away in the Takeru fight. I think the only thing, the thing that helped Takeru win that fight is just experience. I think Thant Zin came in there with the right mindset of no
Yeah.
respect. Let me push the pace. Let me push forward. And if we remember back to that fight, he did drop Takeru in the first round.
Yep.
And
Beautiful.
Takeru was even surprised by the power that was coming back to him. So I have to rock here with Thant Zin, bro. I think he gets the finish here. I think the only people that is beating him is people with massive experience
Yeah.
and massive skills in their bag that they can rely on. Not to take anything away from Surian League. He is a top quality opponent for Thant
Yeah.
Zin, and I
Yeah.
think he carries a bit of experience, but I just think like Thant Zin coming out of the Takeru fight,
Yeah. He's learned a lot.
once you are touched by a champion, you're able to breathe that championship air. You're able
Yes.
to fuel yourself with that championship mentality, and
Yeah.
I'm just high on him at the moment, and I think
Mhm.
he's going to be a future world champion. I would love that for him. He
Yeah.
comes from a lot of adversity, and he's put it all in his bag, and he pushes forward. So I think he gets the finish here.
Whew. I mean, I think it's gonna be a finish in this fight as well. I mean, Suran Lik is a dog, dude. He's a scrapper, and most of his fights are either ending in finishes or he's getting a finish like Thant Zin. So this fight is primed, cooked for a knockout here. One of these guys are gonna get finished. Let's see what happens here. There's no peace and gentlemen. I think that fight's going to play. Then we're gonna move it on, Babu. I'm gonna break this one down also tomorrow. This fight that's taking place between Shakir Al Takriti against Masaki Noiri. Masaki Noiri is a 2 division K1 champion coming into the one championship right now. So that's also a very high profile fight. However, Noiri is on a downward spiral, unfortunately. So all his fights in the one championship has ended in losses. So he's obviously looking to correct that in this fight. But he's going up against a very, very worthy opponent in Shakir. But Babu, I want to get your opinion about the opening bout of this card. That's what I want to get. And we
The
have
second
the bat-
generation.
Battle of the Second Generations. There we go. So we have Freddie Haggerty, Jonathan Haggerty's younger brother, taking on the other Estupinan brother, Jordan Estupinan. Both these guys are literally only 20 years old. Jordan Estupinan, this is his one championship debut. So if he's anything like Johan Estupinan, you kind of have an idea of what his fighting style is like. Whereas Freddie Haggerty is basically a carbon copy of Jonathan Haggerty. They fight exactly the same, just different weight classes. How do you think this fight plays out, Bible?
There's two ways that like the second generation fighter comes out. You either a carbon copy of the first generation, or you like the worst version of it. And from watching, it's either you live up to expectation, or
you
you just shit. Yeah, at the end of the day, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Freddie Haggerty, big shoes. Jonathan Haggerty, champion, well known in the sport, a dominant force, and like that's your brother. That's somebody that you look at, that you train with, that is bestowing knowledge upon you of how to grit it out. But at the end of the day, he's not the one he can't do everything for you. And so far from seeing a couple of Freddy's highlights, nothing has really gone to decision. He's gotten finishes every time out.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen him tested with adversity as of yet. I do think that's what this fight brings. Jordan Estupian also, his brother's fighting on the card. I'm sure they're both excited. One championship debut. Fighter must be overjoyed to be on the same card as his brother, and I just hope that Jordan's able to maintain that adrenaline and is able to channel all that energy straight into the course of the fight and not just into the first round. I think Farid is going to be in dangerous waters in that first round because I do think Jordan's gonna try and come and take his head off. Like we mentioned with his brother. His brother is amazing at the movement part of getting in and out, trying to land and not get hit. On the other side, the agri fight style is, are you tougher than me? Because I'm not gonna be in and out of the void. I'm gonna be in the void and I'm gonna throw leather. And I'm gonna throw leather. And if you can take it, then please do. And if you can return it, I would love to feel it. And I think Freddy, he's in that championship bracket. He's around that championship mentality, and he's riding the win streak at the moment, 3-0 against Jordan. I think Jordan might have put in a bit too much at this stage. I think like a different opponent would have been better suited for you, because I think Freddy's just gonna mouth in this fight. I think he's just gonna mouth Jordan.
I'm inclined to agree with it. I think the fight's going to play out exactly the same way you described it now, where we see Freddy take over in the later rounds, probably try and finish him round 3. Because I have seen in Johan Stupenen's last fight that he does get tired, and because he's so reckless and the fight is such a fast pace, he does get tired. He does sort of lose that high volume. It does disappear, and it disappears very quickly. So, yeah, very intriguing matchup, to be quite honest. I cannot wait for it. But Babu, thank you so much, brother. That is our time. Let's see if all the predictions that you gave today comes out through. Ladies and gentlemen, if you made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You can catch myself doing a final prediction of this fight card coming out tomorrow, a day before the event. Speaking of the event, it is 170, which will be live this Friday, 24th of January at 1:30 South African time on YouTube. And just before I let you guys go, the one more thing I would like to speak about is at this event, what we will see is a special night production done by Russell Crowe. He is filming there in this event. So there'll be a pause in production. There'll be a pause in the event where we see Russell Crowe and his crew actually film something for the upcoming movie that he's in called Beast in Me. All right. On that note, please stay safe, stay blessed, enjoy the rest of the week that's left. And you can catch me and the rest of the boys when we do our recap on this event. Thanks. Stay safe. Cheers.